Okay, real talk. How often do you hear about a Hollywood A-lister not just meeting a fan, but going out of their way to create a moment so heartwarming, it literally breaks the internet? It's rare, right? In an age of PR-crafted interactions and red carpet smiles, genuine moments between celebrities and their fans almost feel like myths. But what if I told you Johnny Depp? Yes, that Johnny Depp just turned an ordinary fan letter into something so touching, so personal, that people across the world are crying, laughing, and watching it on repeat. Well, believe it. Because that's exactly what happened. And no, this isn't your typical fan meets celebrity moment. This isn't a wave across a crowd or a blurry selfie at an airport. This is something straight out of a movie, the kind of moment that reminds you there's still kindness in the world, and that sometimes even the biggest stars can have the biggest hearts. Have you ever dreamed of meeting your favorite celebrity? Maybe you imagined it happening in a massive crowd, or while waiting for an autograph after a premiere. Maybe you've even sent a fan letter yourself, not really expecting a reply, just needing to get something off your chest and share how much their work meant to you. That's what makes this story so special, because it started in exactly that way, but ended somewhere completely unexpected. So stick around, because in the next few minutes, we're going deep into a story that's got everyone talking. What Johnny Depp did for a fan on his birthday that shocked his team, melted hearts across the internet, and started a new wave of celebrity compassion that's still going strong. Here's what happened. It all began with a letter. A simple, heartfelt birthday card written by a young woman named Emily. She's not an influencer. She's not connected to anyone in the industry. She's just a 20-year-old who's been through more than most people could imagine. Emily is a burn survivor. A series of accidents and surgeries left her with visible scars, both physical and emotional. And like many people trying to make sense of pain, she found solace in stories, especially one story in particular. That story was Edward Scissorhands. In her card, Emily wrote that watching Johnny Depp portray Edward, a character so visibly different, so painfully misunderstood, gave her strength. "Watching you and Edward gave me courage," she wrote. "He looked different, and that made me feel okay being different too." It wasn't just about a movie. It was about seeing someone who didn't fit the mold still find kindness, connection, and love. She wrote the letter with no expectations. She mailed it to Johnny Depp's fan P.O. box and honestly forgot about it. Because really, how often do those things go anywhere? But this one did. Somehow, the letter ended up in the hands of Johnny Depp's team. And in a twist that feels almost too good to be true, he read it himself, not a publicist, not an assistant. Johnny Depp sat down and read every word. And according to sources close to him, he was visibly emotional. This wasn't just fan mail. To him, it was a reminder of why he does what he does. It touched him in a way that not many things do, and that's when he decided to act. But not in the usual way. Not by sending a signed photo or a standard thanks for writing response. No, Johnny wanted to do something personal, something real. He told his team he wanted to visit Emily in person, and not just as himself, but as Edward. So a quiet birthday plan was set into motion. Johnny Depp arranged a visit to a children's hospital in Chicago, where Emily was undergoing recovery therapy. No press, no paparazzi, just a few trusted staff members, a small hospital team, and a surprise no one would see coming. And here's where it gets surreal. Johnny showed up in full Edward Scissorhands costume. We're talking the hair, the makeup, the leather, even the delicate scissor-like hands, every detail brought to life with the same care he brought to the film decades earlier. When the moment arrived, Emily was wheeled into the hospital's therapy garden for what she thought was just a routine session. The staff, in on the plan, kept things casual, until she looked up and saw him. Her face, we're told, went from confusion to shock to full-blown disbelief in seconds. There, standing under the late afternoon sun, was Edward. Her Edward. Not a look-alike, not an impersonator. The real deal. Johnny Depp transformed into the very character who once helped her through her darkest days had come to life before her eyes. The reaction was electric. At first, she just stared. Then, the tears came. then laughter. Johnny didn't say much, staying in character, as Edward tends to do, but his presence said everything. He gently reached for her hand, carefully, with his scissor fingers, and she clutched it like she was holding on to a lifeline. A nurse, with permission, filmed a few seconds of the interaction. It wasn't meant for the public, but eventually, someone, a visitor overcome with emotion, posted it to TikTok with a simple caption, "You're not ready for this moment." Within hours, the clip began to spread. Within 48 hours, it exploded. 10 million views, then 15, then 20. Johnny Depp's surprise began trending across platforms. The comments poured in, thousands of them. "I'm sobbing. This is what real celebrity looks like. Protect Johnny Depp at all costs." Even fellow actors chimed in. Josh Gad tweeted, "This is what a real star looks like." Another fan added, "You don't need a blockbuster when your heart's this big," and honestly, that might be the most accurate thing anyone said that day. And here's where the story gets even better. Emily? She didn't know the video had gone viral until a nurse showed her later that week. Her response? "If it makes people feel less alone, then it's worth it." Isn't that something? Now, if you're like most people, you're probably wondering, is this a one-time thing? Did Johnny Depp just randomly decide to do this out of the blue? Actually, no. Here's the part most people don't know. Johnny Depp has been doing this kind of thing for years, but always under the radar. Since the early 2010s, he's made surprise visits to children's hospitals dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow. Not once or twice, Mayan, we're talking dozens of visits across the US, UK, and even Australia. But here's the key difference. He never brings the press. He doesn't allow media coverage. No red carpet, no flashes. Just kindness. One nurse from Children's Hospital Los Angeles once said in a 2022 interview, he's one of the few stars who actually tells his team not to publicize this stuff. He just wants to make the kids smile. And he doesn't just show up empty-handed. Depp pays for everything himself. The flights, the wardrobe team, the gifts he brings for the kids, even post-visit support for some families. In Emily's case, he sent her a private handwritten letter afterward, thanking her for the courage she gave him. Yes, you heard that right. He thanked her. And if you're thinking this kind of story feels rare, you're right. But maybe it doesn't have to be. Because this story reminds us of something important. You don't need to be famous to change someone's day. You don't need 1 million followers or a blockbuster hit to make someone feel seen. Sometimes, all it takes is a letter, a moment, a little bit of your time. The person who posted the video? Just a visitor. No big platform, no special influence. But their post helped spread a ripple of goodness that reminded millions what compassion looks like. So now I've got a question for you. What's one kind thing someone's done for you that you'll never forget? Maybe it was a teacher who believed in you, or a stranger who helped when you needed it most. Let me know in the comments. Seriously, I read them all. And who knows, maybe we'll feature a few in the next video. If this story warmed your heart, even just a little, hit that like button. It really helps more than you know. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. We share stories like this all the time, real-life moments that make you believe in people again. And if you love this story, trust me, you're going to want to check out our next video, Keanu. Reeves quietly donates millions, what he doesn't want you to know. It's another perfect example of a celebrity using their spotlight to shine light on others. Thanks for watching, friends. Stay kind. And never underestimate the power of a single moment. Because sometimes, it's not about being famous. It's about being human.